I want to thank you for being here for this weekend devotional, along with a lesson I have prepared for Sunday about the difficulties of life and about the thoughts that I've had over the last couple of weeks, the situations which we get into and we forget to look to God. But in James, the first chapter, starting in verse 2, he says, "Count it all joy, brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds, for you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let the steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing." Now, I want us to think about that. And James didn't leave anything out. I think he expects for us to realize what he's saying. But he said, "Count it joy when you meet trials of various kinds." And whatever kind of trial that you meet, that trial that besets you. It can be a very physical trial. It can be anything that comes about in your life that begins to affect the way you think and affect the way you act in public or in private, either one. When it changes you and you start looking toward worldly situations, worldly thoughts and ideas to live in, this idea of looking to God, seek Him, look toward Him, realize who He is, realize that He is there for us. He said, "And let steadfastness have its full effect." Well, to have steadfastness, I have to have something to place my belief in. If I place my faith in God, then I can be steadfast. I will begin to look and realize that it is God that is there with me, that I can stand firm in what I am doing. I can stand firm in God, even facing that trial. He said, "For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, that you might grow, that you might mature, that you might become complete in that growth, lacking in nothing." Now, it takes time. But each time we stand up, each time we look to God, and we look to Him in faith, believing that He's there with us, that He will keep us safe, that He will help us to face that situation, that He will help us to face the temptation of walking away, that He'll help us to face that temptation of being drawn away into the world. It begins to build us stronger. We begin to become more steadfast in Christ. But then He gives us something else. He said, "If any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives generously to all without reproach, and it will be given to him." Seek God. Seek God in the fullest. Go to Him and tell Him that you don't have enough, that you don't know how to respond to this situation. You let Him ask of God, who gives generously with generously to all without reproach, and it will be given. But let him ask in faith, with no doubting. For the one who doubts is like the wave of the sea that is driven and tossed by the wind. For that person must not suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord. He is a double-minded man, unstable in all his ways. We have to be willing to look to God and to God only. Look to Him and know that He is there. Look to Him and know that He will provide. Well, it may not be what we want. It might not be in the way we want. And yet He will provide for us that wisdom with which to stand firm and give ourselves over to God without being swayed back and forth, without being dragged through the mire. Oh, we're going to face the difficult times, no question. No question. Life goes on. Things happen. Being a child of God will not cause life to cease. It's going to carry on. Things are going to happen. There are going to be disasters. There are going to be hurts. There are going to be pains. There's going to be death. There's going to be all of these things. What he's saying is that when we face these things with God, it tests our faith. Or when we face these things, it tests our faith. our faith in God, our willingness to go to God, look to God, seek Him, knowing He's there, knowing that He brings comfort, knowing that He brings strength, and knowing that He will help us face those difficult times and tasks. But we're going to face them. We can face them with God or we can face them without. And this is the idea. If we face them with God, our faith will be built stronger each time. Looking to Him, knowing that He is there, knowing that He cares for us, knowing that He will give us that which we need to remain faithful to Him. I want to thank you for being here today, and may God bless.